Hello and welcome to another edition of Can't Clip It with Jesse Ralph and Evan Dubois. I'm Jesse Ralph.
And I'm Jesse Ralph. I thought that'd be fun. I'm Evan Dubois. It wasn't fun.
Let Mark be the silly one. You're not the silly one.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're the redheaded one.
Why does every episode start with you making fun of my hair?
I don't know, and then it never comes up in our day-to-day conversation.
Yeah.
Our guest this week. Very funny cat. Gonna tell us about his album and Just for Laughs. Marc Hallworth.
Well, yeah, that's me. Evan Ralph.
Nice.
Jesse Dubois. Hey. My head's getting cut off in this thing. Should I be crouchier?
Oh.
Crouchier? I don't know. I'm happy to do whatever. I don't care. Hey. Technology, baby. That looks great. I think. Oh, shit. Okay. I feel fantastic. Oh, and I'm wearing a University of Calgary shirt.
Did you go to the
Representing-
University
yeah,
of Calgary?
2004 to 2008.
You're that old?
I'm pretty old. Yeah.
I was
Okay,
not
well,
expecting that.
That's a crazy way to say hello to a guest.
No, I was born in
in
94, so hearing that you were
yeah.
in school when I was 10, I'm like, you've just got
94.
such a youthful energy.
Thanks, man. I'll take that as a compliment. I think that's a good thing.
That
Yeah.
absolutely is.
94. So when Timothy McVeigh was blowing up Oklahoma City. Do you know any of these names? Was that 94? The Oklahoma City bomber?
When Dylan Gott was on the show, he brought up Jean-Benet Ramsey.
Yes, I saw
and
that.
Evan had
he
no idea.
He gave us pre-read questions, and I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
So I was reading the question, and I was like, Gene Bean Ramsey. and they both started making fun of me. I'm like, I don't know what happened.
Have you since learned or whatever?
Yes,
I don't
I
really
have.
know that much about John Benet Ramsey. You know what's another great reference that nobody talks about is John Wayne Bobbitt, the guy who got his dick cut off.
Oh, yes.
Remember that guy? That was a 90s thing, wasn't it?
Is
That
he
was-
still around?
I'm not sure, but
I
yeah,
think he is actually. Yeah,
that was on all of the reality talk shows for
Yeah,
6 months straight.
yeah. Robin Williams had a bit about it. Everybody had every late night host
Yeah.
talked about that. It was all over the news. It was crazy. It was a pretty rough
Yeah.
relationship.
So I don't know
I
about
love
this
that
either.
that's how you bookended
Describe
it.
it. It was a
Yeah,
real rough relationship.
Yeah.
Him and Loretta Bobbitt.
He had a rough go.
When he got his dick cut off.
Why though? Why did she cut his dick off?
He was like an abusive husband and stuff. It was like a horrible
Gotcha.
thing.
Okay.
And then she just like kitchen knifed his dick off and then threw it into a bush or something, or like into a field. She just like drove down the street and chucked it out the window.
Okay.
And there's a whole documentary about it now called Loretta. And they show you like photos of the severed dick and stuff. And it's out of nowhere. It really is like, they're just like, so the crime scene, blah, 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 that shows like a bloody knife or whatever. And then it's just dick. And you're like, good Lord, I wasn't ready for this.
Oh my god! But
pretty
it
wild.
wouldn't retain the blood either if it's severed.
That's
So
a good question. I don't know. It looks, I can't remember. Then I heard he went into porn or something. I think he got like a new dick and then he went into porn.
She chopped the dick off, and he's like, "Quick, cauterize it before it empties."
I want people to know that it was a good looking dick.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? Somebody's definitely had this joke in like
I'm sure they have.
97.
Yeah.
Right. 94. What a good time. I was living in Calgary. I was finishing the second grade.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now bring up when Evan was born, and we'll both
And then
feel.
we'll rip on that.
2000.
Cool.
Yeah.
Somebody once told
Yeah.
me. That was big, I
Yeah.
think, when you were coming out.
Yeah.
Just happy to survive Y2K, but we got like 4
Yeah.
months off for Christmas break because they thought we were gonna die.
What on earth? What are you talking about? I didn't get 4 months off.
4
I-
weeks.
Or sorry, even that. I don't remember. Y2K. You know what's great about Y2K was they had a bunch of albums that were like countdown till the end of time. They had a lot of great compilation albums. Like much music, I think, had like a Y2K album that was sick. It was really good.
How many times was Third Eye Blind on that album?
Yeah, probably a bunch. Or Silverchair. We'll bring it back to you in the year 2000. Was it great?
Okay.
I don't know. Remember Silverchair? I don't know. I think this is a Canadian band that no one talks about.
Man,
Silverchair. My favorite Canadian band no one talks about is Our Lady Peace.
Yeah, people talk about Our Lady Peace, don't they?
Who?
You and I right now. The fact We are all
Yeah.
innocent. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Bangers, yes.
Are we allowed to? Are we gonna have to pay royalties?
I think
for all
you
these?
sped it up enough for YouTube's content system.
Did you not notice?
Yeah. If you sing any more songs,
You
do
mean
it at
that's
2
not
times speed.
Rain Maida?
2000. What month?
March
Good times. I was finishing the 8th grade.
on a Tuesday.
Man, what were trips like for school when you're in Calgary? Were you like going up to the mountains for like camp shit?
That's a great point. Yeah, so as you know, so I grew up in Calgary. Drumheller is like in the Badlands out there.
Yeah.
They have a big T-Rex. They have a big dinosaur
all the
museum.
dinosaurs. Yeah,
The Tyrrell Museum or something. And
I
I
feel
can't,
so
I can't tell if you're
uncultured
going into
right
a
now.
bit right now because you started it with, so I grew up in Calgary. And
well, I don't know, like
No, I'm
for
sorry.
all the fans, yeah, it just came up that way.
no, continue.
And we had like an overnight sleep in the Tyrrell Museum, and you could sleep under the dinosaurs and stuff. And it's great to wake up and then there's like a dinosaur. Like I intentionally fell asleep with teeth in my face, so then when I woke up, it was like
Nice.
that was a funny way to wake up. Yeah, go to camps and shit.
He liked that one.
I love
Funny
the
way to wake
idea that you were like that goofy as a kid that you were just like, oh, I want to wake up with dinosaur
Yeah.
teeth in my face.
I know this will be great. Yeah. In the 11th grade, we had like a band trip or something. There was like because I was in band class.
What
Playing
instrument?
the drums, man.
Playing the drums,
Had a
of
good time.
course.
Of
Okay.
course. Look at me.
As I almost knock over this.
What is this? What's going on here?
Oh, that's the
child.
logo. This is Evan's
Yeah.
album.
I was going to
With,
throw your album up on the screen, but it's like a 14-year-old laptop, and
Dubois.
I couldn't figure it out,
Speaking
man.
of Calgary, Paul Spence and Dave Anderson. Those are friends of ours from the Loose Moose Theater, man. Very funny guys.
Shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember when that movie came out. It was the
massive in
funniest
Calgary.
thing.
Yeah.
They
The poor
actually-
guy, Andy, just passed away. The guy who plays Tron.
Oh,
He
that's
passed
too
away a
bad.
year ago. This Mike Myers, that's a good collection, man. The SNL.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Canadian shit.
Yeah. What's the best SNL compilation one? The first Will Ferrell one is really good.
Yeah, that was great.
Eddie Murphy's is great.
I just watched the first half of his one-man show as George Bush.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Wild, man. I'm reading Molly Shannon's book right now, and it's dynamo, man. You know that Molly Shannon? I thought Molly Shannon was part of the Groundlings, but she was just a hilarious woman living in L.A. who was just like who had this one-woman show with a million characters, and apparently it was
Okay.
like one of the easiest hires that Lauren Michaels
Yeah.
ever had to do. He was just like her, let's get her in here now.
Okay.
And then Mary Catherine Gallagher like blew the fucking doors off the place, and I was like, okay, wicked. She's carrying the show. See ya.
Nice.
This is the most comic conversation. We went on a tangent of everything here
Totally,
when
yeah,
we
yeah,
were
yeah.
talking about
What
your
were we
grade
talking about?
11 trip, band camp. You were a drummer.
I was a drummer, and so, but yeah, this ties into the Drumheller thing of falling asleep intentionally in a funny place or whatever. I fell asleep on the windowsill of this place, of this hotel in Montreal.
Okay.
So that my face was like against the glass, and so that when I woke up, I would just see city and like 30 floors of drum. I don't know. Just it's fun to put yourself in situations where it's like, well, where the hell am I? Like when you wake up, that you're like, where the fuck am I?
I think
And how'd I get here?
you're the only person in the world who, like, if they did the prank on the 401 where the truck's facing backwards being towed, you know, you drive behind it and then your friend screams, you'd wake up like, huh?
Hey!
Yeah.
That would be pretty alarming, I guess, yeah. What are the best places you've ever woken up in a funny context?
Man.
Inside your mom.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh
Yeah.
my
I
goodness.
fell asleep in one hotel room and woke up in the other hotel room's bathtub. We had like 2 adjacent ones in Vegas. That was fun.
Oh my goodness. I can't think of anything that would match a dinosaur, a prehistoric being
That was a great way to wake
looking
up.
over me.
Mine was I told this one on the podcast before, but I slept walk one time, and I took a shit in the bathroom.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I woke up on the toilet.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Good
that
for
I-
you for finding the
yeah,
toilet.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
dark, and I just knew something was on my butt when I woke up. So I thought the aliens got me. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, I
See,
freaked out,
this is
and then
perfect.
I figured out where I was. I turned the lights on, and I went to the room to tell Steph what happened. I woke her up, and I was like, Steph, I just slept walk, and I took a shit. And she's like, okay. And then she went back to sleep like it's a normal thing I do.
Did she remember the next day? Was she like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah, the next morning she woke up. She was like, did
Did you tell me?
Yeah.
Did you wipe?
Yeah.
Nice.
You also did it in the dark by the sound of it, I guess, right? Because you said you turned on the light afterwards.
So I pooped. I woke up.
Describe more of the poop.
I was afraid. I realized I was in the bathroom. I stood up, shuffled over, because my pants were around my ankles.
Right,
Got the
yeah,
pants
yeah.
down, thank God.
Yeah, right.
You know,
That's
I
good.
shuffled to the door. I flicked the light on, and I went back. And then I wiped.
I can't wait for this to
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't get to the wipe part in my sleep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's risky. I wonder
Yeah.
if you had. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to know how long it was between poop and wake
And
up.
wipe.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah. Oh my God. What a world.
Yeah.
These are the questions you ask at the pearly gates.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what happened there?
Yeah.
My buddy was at a house party once, and everybody's drinking, and then he was super drunk and went to go pee, and he didn't realize he went into the parents' bedroom as they were sleeping, and he started pissing in their garbage can.
That's hilarious.
Oh no.
And then when the dad, I guess, woke up and was like, "What the hell?" and he was like, "What the fuck are you guys sleeping in the bathroom for?" So at least he didn't do that.
I do like the idea that it's more plausible in his mind that they're sleeping in the bathroom.
Yeah, right. Than
with
him making a
bed and-
mistake.
yeah. What a weird family. They put a king-size bed in the bathroom.
Comfy family.
Good on the parents for being able to sleep when there was a party happening, because you'd think that the
Right.
door opening would be enough cause for concern.
Yeah, that they're fully out. That somebody can open
Yeah.
a door, stumble into the room,
Undo
I
their
guess
pants.
find the toilets, the garbage. Yeah, and then they slept through that whole thing.
Yeah.
Also, who's sleeping when their kid's having a party that rowdy? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's so Calgary.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of the loud bangs woke them up, but then they just heard like a slight drizzle. and they're like,
Yeah. Wait a minute. That's piss. Somebody's pissing.
Is that hail?
I won sleeping Calgary thing. So I was in Scouts Canada, and I fucking hated it. And it would always coincide with like the coldest day of the year that we would have these like, sleep in the
Yeah.
woods. Yeah. And I slept and snow fell on my face and my eyes frosted shut. And
Oh
when
my
I woke
God.
up, I was like, it was all white, and I was like, ah, and I thought I was dead. Isn't that nuts? That's a crazy way to wake up. That one's
hilarious.
It's
That
not
might
so-
be the worst one.
That's easily the worst one. Yeah. I'm almost a little rattled by how hard you guys are laughing at.
Pretty good.
Dude, I can. Is that why you've got glasses now? You're like, I've got to protect myself from the
So,
snow.
no, yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Although the other day I was
Frostbitten
I
corneas.
was
Yeah.
I was my girlfriend's a contractor. She paints and stuff, and I was helping her
Yeah.
out. And a little like a glob of paint went boo and went perfectly behind the glasses,
Oh,
right
no.
into my eye. That's why I wear glasses, partly
Yeah.
protected from globs of paint.
Okay.
You're just going to go with the 80s, like, Coke rim glasses?
Oh yeah. No, it took forever to get the paint off too. I used
Yeah.
acetone and stuff. Oh man.
Oh, my God.
On your eye? No.
Oh yeah, my eye. It was okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I was like, oh fuck. I couldn't believe how perfectly it went behind. Oh man.
Oh, and, like, just watching it happen to you, feeling that
Yeah, like,
helpless.
yeah, like I can't move.
Oh, my
I was
goodness.
holding a ladder. I wasn't gonna move.
I just realized how many times I've woken up in my entire life, and none of them are memorable.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. You've woken up a bunch.
Yeah. Like, almost every day.
Yeah. Sometimes multiple times a day, I guess, if you nap. Are you guys nappers?
Oh, I
Sometimes.
used to be,
Yeah. What happened? What do you mean you used to be?
Oh, when I was a child, like, I've
He's
always
like,
been a
before the
night
crack,
hawk.
I-
Yeah.
Right? Way too much coffee. Like.
No, I was a night hawk as a kid, so it would be like every day I'd get home from school, like nap for 3 hours and then wake up.
3 hours is not a nap when you're 12. That's
Yeah.
like a sleep.
No, but I'm someone that sleeps like a lot still. Like
Yeah.
I need like 8 to 10 hours.
Isn't 8 like the standard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
10 is a
People
lot.
be
Selfish.
living on 6, though.
I know, but
Yeah.
that's fucked. Like, that's okay. And so
But that's probably why we look younger, because we're comics and
finally
we
sleeping.
sleep longer. Yeah. Everyone else
Yeah.
gets weathered from having like real jobs and responsibilities.
I used
Okay.
to have.
Maybe
I used
that's
to wake
why
up
I'm
at
aging so
5:30.
poorly.
Yeah, what's your sleep? What do you do?
Never.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'll sleep like some nights I'll sleep 4 hours, and then some nights I'll sleep 2 hours, and then some nights I'll sleep like 14 hours.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah.
But he's still young, so like that makes
You're
sense.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were born in 2000.
Yeah.
I did start my day with a Monster and a beer today. So
Well,
that
yeah, this is a weird. Yeah.
Follow for more health tips.
yeah, yep.
I try now to get 8 hours, and it's like if it's up to my body and I have no alarm or anything,
Yeah.
I sleep exactly 8 hours. It's pretty wild. My body's
Okay.
like, "You're up now, buddy." But damn it, it had something to do with sleeping for I don't know. Well, I used to date a lady that was nocturnal. I used to live with a lady that was clinically nocturnal. You know that feeling when the sun goes down and your body is affected or whatever. She got that when the sun came up, and
Gotcha.
but then she'd come into bed at 7. She also had OCD, so she had to like check the door 1,000 times. So I'm awake now. You know what I mean?
I don't remember dating you, but you're
Is this
describing
you?
me perfectly.
It's wild, man. So how does Steph do with it? So when's Steph sleeping?
She sleeps a normal schedule. I went to bed with her the past 2 nights, and this morning she was like, "It's been so nice going to bed with you," and I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's not gonna last."
What's going on? Like, why do you have to wake up and when? And why do you have to go to sleep? Like, what's your like? You writing until 4 in the morning, or what's going on?
I've recently come to the realization that I can't go to bed unless my brain feels like I've done something that day.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's pretty good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, even if like I edit a few videos or something, I'm like, yeah, but like, what even is that? You know?
Oh, it's got to be
Yeah, I gotta like
something.
get something good.
Yeah.
So like, then I'll like stay awake for 4 hours trying to like write a good joke.
Yeah.
And then I'll fall asleep.
Yeah,
on
that's
the
what
couch.
it does.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Because obviously, like you're right about the comedian schedule is so crazy that it just doesn't line up with other schedules of like finishing a gig at 1 and going to sleep at 2 or something, and then having to get up at 6. For
Well, that
like,
too. Like a good gig, you come home on adrenaline. You know what
Yeah,
I
and
mean?
then there's no way I'm going
Yeah.
directly to bed. Like,
No.
I can't do this.
Yeah. I'm restarting Loki, and I'm watching all of it. You know?
Oh God. Yeah. I don't know. Do you know? Does he do this? There's a couple. Well, Nick Martinello. Do you remember Nick? He lives in Halifax now, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You
I
remember Nick?
recognize the name.
Nick
I don't.
had like a fucking crazy schedule where he'd gig until like 2 in the morning, and then he'd work at he worked at Fresh, I think, and he had to be up at 5, and so we went down
Wow.
there, and then he'd go back home and sleep for like 3 hours. So I think throughout the day he got an 8-hour sleep, but it was like
Okay.
so broken up, and it sounds fucking crazy to do that.
That feels like it would double age you because
think
you
so,
had
too.
2 days in one.
Yeah. Oh my God. Great way to look at it. Jesus. I don't know. But so I used to finish shows in Calgary and then be so adrenaline. Yeah. And then keep writing jokes until 2 a.m. and then wake up at 5:30 to do engineering. And you're like, oh God, I can't do this. When I was your age, I think. Yeah.
So
I was a little younger than you.
When you worked in engineering,
Mm-hmm.
what did you do?
I was after graduating in 2008, that big job. So I did a couple of like summer engineering jobs where I worked in construction, and I worked at I was like a land surveyor in construction. I worked at this other place that I don't even know. I don't even know what the hell I was doing. I was like some helicopters with like drop drills to go for oil, and then
Okay.
I like computed where they dropped the drills or something. I think
Okay.
that's it. That was like the summer 2007.
Damn, I see why you don't work there anymore.
Yeah, because I don't care about any of this. Yeah. And then from May of 08 to March of 09, I worked at this place that, well, I don't know if you recall, you would have been far too young for this, but the recession was going on. And
I
a
don't
lot
even
of
know what that means.
Yeah, you don't even know what a recession is.
We're in another one.
Yeah, we're about to go into another one, or I think we're already in it. Yeah, and but so pipelines, a lot of pipeline projects were wrapping up, and so there wasn't really a lot of work, and that's right when I got hired. And so they were like, we don't have anything for you to do. Also, I think they were just kind of idiots. Like one time, they were like, we need you to copy paste all these files, and it took 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I was like, okay, and the guy was like, oh. I thought that would take you like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So then go look busy. And I was like, all right, I guess.
Everyone else they hired before you was smart enough to just stretch it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I sort of pieced together. Well, then, this is because I'm a dorky nerd that keeps track of all the shows he does in these big Excel spreadsheets. And that started right then because people were like, look busy. And I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? There's nothing. And all I'm thinking about is comedy. It's all I want to do.
So you started your
So
spreadsheet.
I started spreadsheeting comedy, and there's like And it used to be way more in depth with color coding and but then
my
my boss
God.
would like walk past my cubicle and he looks at my computer and there's charts and like pie graphs and stuff or whatever.
Okay.
And he's like, well, he's obviously doing something in there. I don't know. He does look busy. And I'm like so focused and like typing like
Yeah.
So that's where it all started, the spreadsheeting of comedy. Just because
Okay.
which is kind of cool. That's like,
Yeah.
and now it's like really helpful.
No, and now that we're on to the spreadsheets,
Sure.
I am curious. How
Yeah.
many times did you come and do Banana
Let's
Room?
see. Yeah. Okay. Wicked.
For
Hold
for
up.
audience members who don't know, all four of you,
Yeah. Right.
I used to run a show in my backyard, and Mark headlined it a couple times.
I assume
Yeah.
so. Yeah. Where the hell? Okay. So 2021. That sounds right.
Yep.
Yes.
August of 2021. I
Yeah.
did it. November 2021. January of 2022. Jesus Christ. What the,
Outside in the cold.
Was that
Yeah.
outside?
Yeah. We were doing winter shows.
Man. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you had those heaters, man. It
Yeah.
was so good.
Yeah.
By the way, that had to have been like the only thing going on. Because January of 2022 was the Omicron lockdown.
Yep. It was the
Holy
only thing
shit.
happening. We were only allowed 10 people in the backyard. at the
Right,
time.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
They were all
February
comics.
of 2022 as well. So I think I did it
Okay.
4 times at least in the backyard. And
Okay.
I would have done I could try to find this, but I would have done your other one.
The Royal
at The
one.
Royal, right? That's what
Yeah.
it's called? Royal Comedy Club. You also had another great thing in another backyard in Etobicoke.
Oh,
Right?
thank you. Yeah, I did. I did one show back there. And
Yeah.
it went really well. There was like 30 people.
I remember that. I had a really
Yeah.
good time. The Royal County. This may have been a different show. Okay, so I'm because it just was the venue and not necessarily the show.
Yeah.
But in like July 2022, does that sound right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then possibly October 2022.
Were they Wednesdays?
I don't know. I can't. Yeah, we could
Okay.
double check all this, but I'd have to go to another part of the spreadsheet
Okay.
to figure all this out.
I think that's 7.
7-ish, yeah, banana rooms. Oh, wait, no, don't exit out of this yet. No, don't close. No.
Mark, this is wild because usually comics' analytical brains are just for like situational things, and that's
Yeah.
how they make good observations.
Mm.
But so for me to think that you're sitting there using your brain for, keeping track of shows, probably what jokes went well,
Yeah, totally.
that
That's all
kind
in
of
here.
stuff.
Well, one thing that I found super helpful about this was knowing what material I'd already done in front of who. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I did a Zoom gig and with someone who I'll remain nameless or whatever, just because it kind of throws them under the bus a little bit.
Before
but,
you tell the story, I
Yeah.
never even thought of the spreadsheet that way. That's genius.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
That's
here, I
great.
don't know. Here, it's like the gig number and then the date and then the venue and then whatever joke I did, I guess.
Oh, that's
like,
wild. So you've done over 4,000 gigs
yeah, 4,423 as of
right now.
yeah, as of yesterday.
Damn.
'Cause I
So
did a
by the
thing.
time this airs, there'll be at least 5 more
I guess or whatever. Yeah. When does this come out?
next week.
Yes, next
Sure.
week. Because we just
Yeah.
put up Eddie's episode this week.
Eddie McGinty?
Yep.
Oh, I
We
can't
got
wait
Eddie
to watch
on.
that, man. That's
Funny.
great.
We
Love
had
that dude.
Joey on as well because they both live with me,
I
right?
did see that. Yeah, I didn't get to watch that.
The thumbnail is their credits are Evan's roommate and amateur comedian.
That's great. Man, Joey's been killing me, man. He's got this joke about a teetotaler or whatever because he doesn't drink
Yeah.
or whatever. That teetotaler bit is making me laugh.
Yeah, it's silly.
Banana room. Let's see where the hell this is. That closed out the banana room
Oh, Evan, I was
at their
thinking-
brand new space. Was poorly attended, but so fun. That's what I know.
We're gonna cut that part. We're gonna cut that part.
That's gotta stay.
I'm sure it was, I don't know. Who cares? Like, at least you're
least
giving
I
people
got so
stage
fun.
time, man. You're giving people. No, that's a different. Oh, I literally I didn't put banana room. I typed banana, and closed out Sean Price's The Pal Show. Do you remember Sean Price? I don't really see this guy anymore. I love that guy.
Oh, he's
I think so,
very
yeah.
funny.
Very
Has a great
funny
joke
guy.
about Zellers.
Does he? Okay,
Yeah.
I don't see. He put together terrific shows too. The crowds were always amazing. But this one closed out Sean Price's show was pretty bananas in there with so many drunks, but it still went well. These are the notes. Anyway, I can look up more.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's what the spreadsheets kind of look like. But the Zoom gig, I did it with this other comic, and they loved us so much they had us back. But obviously, it was a kind of a corporate thing.
Yeah.
It's just for this one company. Obviously, there's going to be some repeats. probably everyone actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other comic, literally like 2 minutes before the Zoom room opens,
Yeah.
is like, oh shit, they're gonna be a lot of the same people. And they're like, yeah, I don't know, it's the same company. And he was like, oh, I don't. What did the?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, do you have a different 10 minutes or whatever it was, or 20 minutes? And he was like, well, I don't know. I don't know what I did last time. And it's
Yeah.
like, meanwhile, I'm at my spreadsheets being like,
Yeah.
ha, you're going to
Yeah.
walk into hell, pal. Yeah. And you could tell people were like, we heard that one last time. People
Yeah.
were like, they get it.
And that's the most powerless thing a comic can
Right.
hear or feel.
I
Too.
don't know. Yeah.
I've talked to Jesse about this before. I have an advantage being a musical comic in that department because, like, when I go back to a town, I always change what stand-up bits I do.
Sure. But the songs
But they
might-
want the songs.
Yeah.
Like, if I play the booty song again or whatever, like, people are like,
like,
we
"Yeah,
loved this one last time.
booty."
They're like, last time, check, listen, man.
That
you know,
happens,
it's
that
a
happens
separate
with stand-up bits too every now and again, though.
Yeah.
Too, especially if they brought their buddy. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, they got this great thing about The Simpsons that's really
Yeah,
funny
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, but then they're not laughing. They're happy. But
Yeah.
they're not laughing. And
They're
then you're
doing
on stage.
this.
and-
They're doing this.
It's good.
And that's also the worst feeling you can have as the friend of the guy that was brought, because it's like, yeah, I'm enjoying it, but not as much as you want me to.
Yeah, right.
That you're
Yeah.
looking,
Then
being
there's
like,
that.
how's this?
Well, then the comic on stage too is not hearing laughs
Yeah.
and thinking they're bombing. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a famous like John Cleese story about that when they were touring with through America, doing like some Python review, some best of or something, and they weren't getting laughs, and he was like, "Shit!" And then he went in the wings. He's like, "No, it's going well. Look at their faces." And he kind of looked because the lights were blinding, so this way he was able to
Yeah.
not see. And they're all mouthing along the lines. They
Yeah.
know it, yeah. So it's like, oh, okay, they're still enjoying themselves, but it fucks up the energy like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're doing a
I was
repeat
focused
gig.
on, because during what you said not see.
Ah,
And I was
yeah.
just thinking of how I was gonna cut that into a clip to make you look like a
Sound
bad
like a
person. You know?
By the way, so what is this podcast? It's called Can't Clip It.
Yeah.
And you just post a bunch of clips that make
Yep.
the comic look bad.
No, that make them look good.
Oh, that look
hopefully.
good.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do the Nazi one for real. I just wanted to.
That is pretty funny. Yeah. When you're doing a podcast and you're on the editing and production side of it too,
Yeah.
and it's like, I've been there before where you're like, kind
Yeah.
of conversation, but
Yeah,
another
yeah,
chunk
yeah.
of your brain is like, okay,
How am I
going
gonna
to
cut this
or
together?
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I've been there, man. The all 100 episodes of the Vesta Friends podcast. You can still hear those.
I'll link it in the
Please
description.
do. For people, what would we say? We'd say for people that love sketch comedy but hate looking at it.
That's
So
great.
sick of people moving around.
That's funny. I did. I wanted to ask at the start, but what? So your album is called Happy Pappy.
Happy Pappy.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was your favorite bit from that album? And
yeah.
why?
So from the album specifically? Or
Yeah.
From, so it was like.
and also, if
it
you
was-
don't mind telling the bit, so we can like deconstruct
Oh,
why
cool.
you like it so much, and yeah.
Damn. Okay.
As long as you're cool with burning
yeah,
it here.
Burning it? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
All 4 of the
16
people. So
Yeah. There's 16 bits on it, I think. Which is what's another thing that's kind of cool is clipping it in such a way that it's like, so that it's easy to play on SiriusXM or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like in my head, this is actually all kind of one bit, and I always do this
Yeah.
consecutively. But for playable reasons,
it's cut into.
it's cut in
yeah.
a weird way or whatever, which is kind of so in my head, yeah, it's 16 bits. I think it's like 20 tracks, but in my head, it's
Yeah.
like 16 bits. And so I can I give you like 2 answers because one thing
Yeah.
is an accident that happened. I think it was George Rivard was hosting.
Okay.
And it's like, ladies and gentlemen, Mark. Hey, okay. And then I'm up here and I'm just about to like.
Oh, is it the
Thanks for
cup?
coming here, huh?
Is it the cup?
The bottle, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
So
yeah.
literally, George walks directly into a glass bottle or something. He just kicks it, and it makes like crazy fucking noise, and you hear it so clearly on the album.
That's so
But
funny.
I riff on it a little bit or whatever, and people are cheering or whatever. So that is the first thing that comes to mind. It's not really a bit,
Okay.
but it was a moment in the
Yeah.
in the recording process, and it's right off the top. So
Yeah.
another thing about it too is that. It kind of sounds like I kick it or something. So it was cool to be like, how am I going to use this?
Yeah.
And title it. So I titled it, and it seems kind of clear. Someone kicks a bottle.
Yeah. So it's
and
not.
so, and I kind of, so it's clear that like this is an accident or whatever. But
Yeah.
a lot of people have been like, that's great that you included that. It's kind of,
Yeah.
it brings you into the night or whatever. And I was like,
Yeah.
So that might, I hope that answers your question a little bit. But from what's a deconstructy?
Yeah, from like
way to
your
look at
comedy
this?
mind bit perspective. Because
Yeah,
obviously there's going to be
Lord
those
knows
magical moments in every set.
Yeah, right. But what's my favorite of like the bits?
If I can just interrupt while you're thinking, I find it so interesting because anytime I watch you, you're like a comic that's loose on stage. So I believe that just having that like break the fourth wall and have like everyone in, even though they probably know you're recording, like that's probably such a freeing thing to go, okay, they laughed at something that, you know, wasn't planned.
Sure.
And then you're like, okay, I got another 45 minutes for you.
Just wait for the stuff that's written.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel about, I don't know, we were kind of talking earlier about sort of hecklers and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, guys, I got an act. Don't worry, man. Just sit back and enjoy something that is prepared and crafted or whatever. You don't have to scream shit out and be like, unicorn dogs. Come on, just say, I don't know, riff on that. You're like, why? I don't have anything but riff. It just, whatever I was going to say was going to be 1,000 times better than whatever unicorn dog riff I was going to say. Like, don't worry.
I was editing the footage from our Beaverton show, and it was that the whole time. Like every clip I wanted to do, like people were howling. It was a great set. Everyone on the show did well, but I can't cut any of the clips because like between our jokes, someone will like scream out, "No, I paid $60 to bang her," and then I'm like, man, the clip.
Well, why can't you clip around that? Why doesn't it?
I'd have to like clip it out, and then it would be like a stark.
Oh,
like
you would tell.
You know what I mean?
So they're doing it in the middle of bits or whatever that are. Yeah. This has nothing to do with anything, but if I could derail the question, I'm excited to answer the question, but if I could derail it for 2 seconds, you know what's fucked is when you, where all of the endings of your bits aren't working. Have you ever had that where everybody's going great, and in conclusion, that's why my ass is fat or whatever, and then it's like, boo, you're like, okay, I guess I'm not going to leave on that, and then everyone, oh man, anyways.
No,
do you ever...
Sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead.
I have to, thank you. No, I have that so often where I'll write the bit and the whole bit is working, and then I'll do the punchline. It's like a callback to something that happened like a minute in the bit, and they're like, boo.
We no longer like this.
But I recently wrote a bit that's been the opposite, and it's the first time where the whole bit is like 3 minutes long, and it's like lukewarm.
Yeah, right.
It like does
and
okay, and then the last line they're like, "Oh, it's so clever," and then I'm like, "Oh man, now I have to work on a whole 3 minutes and not just one joke."
Is it a callback to it or something?
Yeah,
or like,
it's
so
a
you
callback.
need all that crap in the middle.
I need all that crap in the middle,
bummer,
so I have to pump it up.
Crap in the middle,
and you've got to do it.
Sorry.
No, it's true, man.
This is why. Do you guys know Callum O'Neill?
Yeah.
Watching that guy work is so interesting. Of like all the he writes and writes and writes so much stuff, and then in the end, the trimming or whatever, it's like. It's like, wow, where'd you get this banger minute and a half bit? And it's like, well, it was like 10 minutes of garbage. And then I trimmed. And so it wasn't necessarily even garbage or whatever, but it's like, I got rid of the stuff that didn't murder every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Really cool. So what were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to bring up, and you do a lot of times, so you know this, I hope. But do you ever have sets where it's going like lukewarm, and then one of your jokes that you don't even like gets a big pop, and then you're like, I hate this joke. Why do you like this joke?
I've never, not to... I don't do jokes I don't like. Why would I ever do a joke I don't like? I'm sometimes like surprised that something hits the way that it does. I guess because it's like, why did everyone get affected by this so hard? Or whatever. Like, but obviously I thought it would get a laugh. But sometimes you're right. It gets like a applause that you're like, okay, all right. Well, it's never gotten applause before. I don't understand. But that's I've talked to like other headliners or whatever that talk about like. I just threw this thing in and people seem to like it. Ugh, I'm sick of doing this joke. Why are you telling jokes you don't want to tell? That's crazy.
All right,
I will. People laughing.
I will tell you, it's because now I have to fill more time than I ever have before, so I've got to do some jokes I don't like until I get better ones in it.
Oh man.
Well, it's very much forcing yourself into writing newer and better jokes.
That's true. That's a really good point because it's like I don't want to do this thing anymore. I gotta write something I care about. Yeah. That's kind of nice.
But I also find emceeing, like, you kind of get put into a spot where you can't write, like, too dark or too dirty if you're, like, going up earlier.
Yeah.
So it's like having to keep, like, kind of cleaner stuff
Yeah.
into it.
And you're like, I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I kind of got to just set the show
Yeah,
properly.
but I'm working on one about homeless folks, but I can't do it because I'm
Yeah.
asking everyone if they're celebrating a birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so aggressive to hear 2 minutes into a show.
Yeah.
I hate the homeless.
I do want to
Anyway,
ask you.
clip
'cause
that, by the way.
Just Nazi and I hate the homeless. Like, this is going to be a
I
great
am
clip.
a Nazi. Like, it's so clearly like.
I hate the homeless.
From
yeah.
Calgary.
Yeah, I'm wearing my University of Calgary shirt. That's how I'm starting the clip.
Yeah, Nazi.
But yeah,
have a beer and then a coffee, like back to back, to wake yourself up.
but yeah. So as a host, I want to know, like, because Jesse and I have talked about it, like, because he's been hosting and I've been closing the tour dates we've been doing.
Great. Okay. And then
And-
what's going on in the between or whatever? You have some local acts or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Man. That sounds like. It's a good
And
time.
so, like, we've noticed the headliner gets their own mojo.
What?
You
What's
know what I
mojo?
mean? You get your own mojo. The crowd is different
Say
for
it
the
again.
headliner.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
they're
I was hoping you would
more-
just say that again.
They're more ready to
Mojo,
laugh
like-
at a bad joke when the headliner goes up.
Okay. Yeah, there's some.
And I'm curious because you
That's
host
just
all the time.
Me
and obviously
telling
that's-
Evan that he sucks and doesn't deserve
Yeah.
What? Okay. Yeah.
But like as a host, you have to work harder for your laughs, especially off the top.
And as a middle too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the headliner, I feel like, has it easy. But you have to work to have it easy.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
love this, and I heard it from this guy whose face is up on your wall there, man, Ted Morris.
Yep.
Ted's a great comic. I love working with Ted.
Yep.
And he told me a cool thing. We were up in like Owen Sound or something.
Yeah.
And he was closing out the show, and I did something middling or whatever, and he was super nice about it and congratulated me on a good time. And he's like,
Yeah.
"What's cool about that is that nobody wants to see the middle."
Yeah.
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 Because it's like it's advertised as being a lesser comic. Kind
Yeah.
of. It's like, what
Exactly.
is this fucking guy who
The
showed
the
up?
picture's smaller on
Yeah,
the
right.
it's in
Yeah.
the corner.
Your name's lower. Yeah,
They almost
whatever.
blur out your face a little
Headline-
bit.
It's
Intentionally.
not a bolded font. It's
Right.
very small.
Doesn't even say your
Hallworth is,
name.
like,
It's just like, who's
disagree.
this guy? Question
Yeah,
mark.
whatever. And then I guess he'll be here too.
Yeah.
But then, and so I've kind of noticed that too. Is that the mood of the show changes a
Yeah.
little bit because like, wow, the headliner, okay. And then especially if you attack it with that energy too,
Yeah.
being like, showtime, baby.
Yeah.
You're here to see the headliner. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, this person's really running the room or whatever. But
The way you said that,
Yeah.
there's a comic in Montreal named Harrison Weinreb.
oh, I love Harrison. He's the
He
best.
opens his set by going, "Showtime."
Yeah. You know what's another great Harrison joke is that one about like he does like the time. So he's like, if anyone's basting a chicken right now or something, he has some great line about timing.
Yeah.
Just to allow himself to look at the time, being like,
Okay.
ooh, so if anyone's got a turkey in the oven,
That's funny.
It's got another 8 hours or whatever. But yeah, I feel that and what's smart though too, I think, for industry secrets is to kind of capitalize on that. To
Yeah.
be like, even if you don't have any confidence at all, to be like,
Yeah.
I'm the headliner, everyone.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah.
Even though secretly I'm not nearly as good as anyone else on the show. Like I don't know why I'm the guy closing it out. This is crazy. But no, okay, you're in good hands now. Let's go. And then they seem, I've seen it on the road that they are really mean to everyone else on the show, but the headliner they give some certain affection to.
Even like some gigs we've done with Greg, like in the breweries.
Yeah.
I find some of the breweries are like amazing the whole show, and then some of them don't care until you bring up the headliner.
Yeah.
Now, the conflict is if the rest of the show screwed up timing. That's when you're in hell. Yeah.
Oh, if it's like a 90-minute show
Yeah.
before you get on
And the
stage.
headliner's on stage.
Yeah.
And everyone else completely put this fucking show on the toilet. And now
Yeah.
you're headline, and you got to be the funniest person on the show,
Yeah.
even though we're all exhausted. And you have to bluff, and you have a 2 and a 5, and you have to score. You have to bluff your way to victory. I saw that. I'm lucky enough to work with him tonight, man. Mark Trinidad. During the pandemic, I saw some show that Mark was closing out, and there was a bunch of people that all blew the light, and shit ass comics. they fucking leave before the end of the show anyway. So it's like I ruin the show and I don't care about you at all. I'm leaving. That's like, don't you see?
No, you're right. I shouldn't have left that show.
Well, wait. Okay, no, it's not. I don't think you were on the show I'm thinking of.
No, I know.
Mark went up.
I'm that guy.
Self-sabotage.
I try not to be, but like most of the time, especially if I have another show, like I'm out of there. But I'll
if you have another show, that clearly makes sense.
My rule is stay 2 acts after mine.
Okay.
So I at least watch some people before I leave.
That's
yeah,
considerably better than a lot of the people I'm working with. Yeah. So, you know what's another fucking time? Remember when you and I'm jumping stories all over the place. I still have to answer that favorite bit question. I haven't forgot about that.
But you haven't decided yet either.
No, I got it.
Okay.
But I'm excited to talk about it. But you and I did something at the Royal one time, and you were like, you had like a date or some fucking thing. Do you remember this? And you were like, you kept getting bumped by ding-dongs that weren't watching the show because it was just at the Royal, and it's like, do you remember that? If I can give you all the details.
I do remember that. I had to meet Steph when she was done work, and we were gonna grab dinner on the way home.
Yeah, and it's like, and it kept getting late, and then you were like, after the intermission, for there's like an intermission of this, and everybody's going along, and then you got bumped by all these shit bricks that didn't watch the show, that weren't owed stage time at all, and they all bumped you. It was so horseshit. And I was hosting, and I was trying to speed this along to get you out of there.
No, and I appreciated you. I could tell that you were trying to get me up, but
I know that feeling.
People kept coming in, and
and it was completely out of my control. I was like, ugh.
Was it a show?
Yeah, all right. I wasn't gonna say. Anyways, yes, it was. Great.
Like anything like that, we can pull out of the episode.
Sure.
That's why I'm comfortable just saying stuff, because I can just cut it out if I don't like it later.
And all these fucking kept going way over time. Fucking ass clowns. And then, we'll talk about it later. But 2 other names showed up. Can I get on this?
Yeah.
Like, no. It's like a 2-hour show. And then some manager showed up and was like, "Hey, you have to get them on." I was like, "Why? They're not even supporting. Like, why? Oh God, what do we owe these people?" So anyway,
favorite bit.
Hold on. Something about delaying bumps. Why don't we get talking about this? So Mark Trinidad at the end went on and demolished 90 minutes into the show, but you could tell of how much of an uphill battle it was.
Yeah,
and he was that good that he was like, I know you're all exhausted and you have your coats on because you want to leave, but I've been contracted to talk to you for 30 more minutes.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to smash. And it was really cool to watch, to be like, yeah, this is a shitty hand to be dealt. Fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I feel like the headliner can be the most honest on the show too, though, and can be like, "Oh, that first guy was really racist."
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you know how to play the game, you can win with a bad hand.
Very good analogy. I love it. Yeah. I didn't mean to. Yeah. I can't reach you.
Fuck both you
We're
guys.
on other sides of the room.
I was in a bad spot because I'd have to do this.
Yeah. Wicked.
Nice.
All right.
There we go.
Favorite bit. Okay, so what the hell is it called? Drug assembly? I'm trying to think of what it would be called on the album. I don't smoke weed or anything really, but I think weed is funnier than booze. And it all starts when you're in high school. You have to go to these drug awareness assemblies. I'm sure people had to do this or whatever. Yeah. And you want me to do the whole bit? It's like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, shit. All right. So, and
I mean,
you
I
don't
gotta
have
laugh
to.
a lot. Yeah. Okay.
It'll be 1:45 without us laughing.
Yeah, right. We'll rip through this. So, the best, by the time you're in high school, you already know everything about weed, so there's no need for this assembly or whatever.
Yeah.
And in fact, everybody in my high school loved weed so much, and that out of spite, I guess, everybody went to the assembly stoned out of their mind, out of spite, I guess. Yeah. And it was so obvious because people are tripping out. It was an old PowerPoint presentation. I guess you're too young for PowerPoint. I'm just kidding. Yeah. But at one point, the word cannabis came twirling onto the screen, and everyone in the gym at the same time went, "Whoa!" Like getting eaten by the letters. And they show a picture of a grow up, and a guy behind me just goes, "How'd you get a picture of my basement?" And everyone's high fiving and eating drugs. And this poor woman, leading the presentation, trying to help, kept getting corrected by the stoners that already knew everything. Yeah. And she's saying, and a guy's like, "Actually, ma'am, it's pronounced Delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol. I think I know." And we're like, "This guy's awesome."
Yeah.
And we should have been like, "Where are your pants?" He's like, "I forgot." So the bit ends. I go, this is a risky way to finish this story, but I thought it was very helpful to have drug awareness assembly in your school because it singles out all the drug dealers and who to go to. And I think they should have it for like serious issues like sexual harassment in your school to single out all the weird perverts in your school. And it would probably be a very similar presentation where they show a picture and some creepy guy at the back is like, how'd you get a picture of my basement? Everyone's like, whoa, who's this guy?
Yeah.
She's a beaut, right? And you're like, where are your pants? Anyway, it all ties together.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. No, I
so that's
remember
my
that
favorite.
bit. It's a very clever bit, and then like it ends on 3 callbacks in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's always
Which is the
gonna
only
end
bit that
strong.
does that, I think. Yeah. Sometimes it's like too racy. I did it. I did it in London, and it did really well. I did it somewhere, and they were just like, "No, that is not funny." Which it's not funny. Like human trafficking is not funny. Clearly, like,
but that's obviously you're making a joke about not being those guys.
Like we need to warn ourselves from those guys or whatever. Yeah. But it's
Ben
not
Bayfield has a
necessarily-
funny bit about how human traffic is the worst kind of traffic.
That's a great line in itself.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
It's the only bit on the album I think that has like callbacks within it. It's also self-contained callbacks within that one joke, so you can hear it. You don't need there's no other part on the album. I think this was intentional that I did this. So there's no other part where I needed to hear track 2 for track 18 to make sense or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was in its design.
Yeah.
So you
No,
just play
I
things
have
independently.
like the closing track on my album doesn't make sense if you don't listen to the
You just
rest of the
listen.
album. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that necessarily. It just makes that one particular track less marketable and less playable.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's also, and I don't know if this is like industry secret or whatever. Please clip this out if I can't talk about this. But I think
We can put a black bar over your face so it doesn't seem like it's you saying it.
It's clearly
And
like
then
wild hair.
I'll attach it with the Nazi clip and it'll be like Mark in blackface. That's what it'd be.
Yeah, it's so clearly like.
Goodness.
There was something about how SiriusXM, and this kind of makes sense. I don't really know the numbers exactly, but it's like if you got a track that's like between 1.5 minutes and 3 minutes, that's like ideal for them. So it's like because if you have a 40-second track, well, I'm not gonna pay this kid fucking whatever to play their 40-second track because that doesn't even give me a lot of airtime or whatever.
Yeah.
Conversely, I'm not gonna play this 6-minute bit or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's like. Because I don't know, there's something about like where they want the clippings to be or something.
Well, you have to be able to turn on the station and listen, you know? Like you
Right.
don't want to turn in and then have to listen to 4 minutes of a song that's 2 minutes in.
Yeah.
Sure, right? Yeah. So I get, so that was another design of the album of like, okay, you'll notice like a lot of them are between 1 minute and 3 minutes. Probably
Okay.
like 18 out of 19 of those tracks. But that's why it was designed like that.
Unless it's like Russell Peters and they're like, we can do a 6-minute bit.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
happily play 6 minutes of Russell Peters because people will listen. Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
Be, and people will be pumped. And they'll recognize the voice. Like, they'll just tune in, I'm sure, and be like, wait a minute, it's fucking Russell Peters.
Yeah.
It is great, with all the fighting that we did in 2019, I think it was, or whatever, when that whole SiriusXM residual thing went back and forth or whatever.
Yeah.
It's cool to now, like sometimes you'll do a gig out with Yuks Comics or something and they'll go, hey, I got SiriusXM radio or whatever, man. Let's see who's getting paid right now.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of a nice, like.
Yeah.
And then you recognize it right away. You're like, oh, it's fucking
Yeah.
what's his face's bit. Yeah. I love that.
No, it is nice. The 3 comics who have Sirius XM in their cars.
Yeah, exactly.
But like it is cool.
The 3 comics that have cars.
Cars,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
Right. Do you drive?
Yeah.
Like, how do you guys get around? You drive, I assume.
He drives.
I
Yeah,
drive.
yeah.
And then sometimes we'll book a driver for Evan because
Yeah.
I'm like an hour from here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that ever happen to you, or it's like, because you live north, I guess?
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, going to Kitchener, can you swing through the city to pick up?
It depends on the
Yeah.
headliner
Yeah.
because it's like if I'm close with them, I'm like,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Really?
let's try and figure out, get up north
You
on the
go-
subway.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of on the way,
Yeah.
and then I'll drop them back at their house on the way home.
Whoa, all
Just-
the way south.
Yeah, but it's not as
He's a
bad.
nice guy.
Yeah, there are some really nice drivers, man. You're one of them by the sound of it. Yeah.
But it is. But then you also remember, Jesse was the guy that dropped me right off at my house when it was minus 40 on the subway.
Let's hire this guy.
Yeah. Get that sweet extra $10 for driving.
Yeah. Man, are you a good driver?
Yes, clean record.
Yeah.
Wow, man. And you're confident in snow or whatever, like all this.
Yes,
Yeah.
just got my snow tires on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
On.
I should make a
dude.
post about that in the Toronto stand-up
Hire me.
community.
Yeah.
Did I mention I have 4-wheel drive?
Oh shit! I did want to say we are nearing the hour mark.
Oh,
So
crash
we're-
out time?
Yeah, we're cool to crash out and.
What does that mean?
And
Crash out. Oh, and okay.
If you wanted to
Plug
promote
anything.
Wow, when does
Yeah.
this come out?
Next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
How many shows will you have done by next Friday?
Okay, Friday, Saturday, I'm in Barrie. So Sunday for people that are, I don't know if people are part of the open mic community that listen to your podcast or whatever, but we've got this new Sunday open mic at a place called Gatherings Bar, St. Clair Station. Come on out. Listed 6 show at 7. It's been really good. This is going to be our 4th week this coming Sunday. But everyone's like super nice, and the space is kind of interesting. It's like tough, but it's like
Good
we
tough.
jam yeah, it's good tough. It's like
Okay.
it's community good, like in the sense that it's like this room could suck if we're all dickheads and we're on our phones at the back and talking at the back of the room. But if we all clump together, this is actually a fantastic space.
Yeah.
For new jokes. So that's something every Sunday that I'm happy to plug or whatever.
Okay.
What's going on? The improv
Album that we mentioned.
Album, Happy
Happy
Pappy. Listen to the album, right on. For anybody in Edmonton, I'm hosting the Yuks December 16th, I think, 16th, 17th. And then
Windsor,
that following week.
November 24th.
Oh, yeah, Windsor's going to be so fun. I can't wait for that, yeah.
You, Drew Bem, Greg Enright.
Yeah, what a fucking
High
group
energy
of people, man.
show. Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be so great to see Drew again. I haven't seen Drew in way too long, man.
Drew's so nice.
Yeah, he's so entertaining, man. He's so funny. And then, the following week from Edmonton, I'm in Calgary. I think I might be emceeing that weekend too at Yuks as well. So there's a bunch of other Calgary things going on. I'm excited to try to squeeze onto.
Oh, nice.
Keep listening to this podcast, man. They're good people.
Can't clip it. It's actually a show because we don't post it as a podcast, but that's okay.
But I've heard it as a unit or something. I listened to the Dylan Godwin.
We do a talk show.
It's a talk show.
Yeah.
Oh.
When I ask people, I say podcast,
Yeah.
so I don't seem like a douchebag.
I have a talk
But
show,
then
I
when
guess.
when we're on the air, we're like, no, it's a talk show.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm happy to do this talk show. I'm so thrilled. I had a great time. It is kind of douchey to say that to people. Yeah, I have a talk show.
Come
Yeah.
on my talk show.
No,
Me and your it does feel like a podcast.
No, but every time we correct folks on the air, we're like, actually, it's a talk show, and they're like,
Right.
what? We're in Evan's fucking computer room. Man.
Yeah, right. I don't know. There's a great shit on the walls. If anybody get in their good books and do their talk show, movie recording stopped.
Perfect. Good.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Good time.
Hey, perfect timing.
Yeah,
Hey.
it caps out at 29 minutes. That's why I restarted it earlier.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've
Yeah.
nailed that ending like a few weeks in a row now.
Yeah.